Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about your calendar, and we'll cover the magic year as well in this video. Pretty straightforward and simple, but I'll give you a few little tips as we go along. So, as you see, you've got your categories, you have your selected categories, and you have your 31 days. I'm in the posting calendar. All you've got to do is you just select whatever categories you want to include that month. For instance, I pick food, and it's going to automatically populate with all of these food posts and prompts. If I want it to be more than just one category, I'll just select a few and it will integrate those in there. I think I'm clicking too fast. And it'll integrate those in there. So now I have what? Food, shelter, and first aid, and they're kind of mixed in. If for some reason I just don't like a particular thing, I can obviously you can change that before you post it with whatever your chosen posting method is. But if I just want to shuffle them around here, I can just uncheck and check, and it's going to shuffle up the order and shuffle up whatever post it's given me. So it's pretty simple and straightforward. One thing to note on the magic year, so I want to say, other than general has, let me move my screen over here. The general tab, which is right here, has quite a few posts in it. But other than general, most of these I believe have around 50 post or prompt associated with them. So they're going to divide that among a 31-day period. So if I only have one category selected, those are all fresh and new. And if I shuffle that, it's going to shuffle around, but it only has 50. So there's going to be some of these that are going to come back in here, if that makes sense. Now, general is the exception. It has more. And you can look in the post database, which is right here, and you can see the category, and you can see how many post or prompt are associated with any given category. So if you just want for your own reference, excuse me. And in the post database video, I'm going to talk to you more about some other things you can do in there and some things to be careful about doing. So pretty straightforward there. Now on the magic year, it's the same principle, same thing. The only thing to take into account, understanding that there's only when you get this 50 posts associated with each category. If I type in food, or if I click food, it's going to use every one of those posts, which is 50, but it's not going to fill out a whole year. So I've got to add more. Now, if I add general, there's a good bit more in general, so it's going to go a lot further. Obviously, takes us all the way out to it fills out the whole year. So there's enough in general plus one category, or maybe even general by itself, to fill out a whole year. But it works the same way. If I want to include multiple categories, I just add them. If I don't like the order or the way it looks, I just check and uncheck, and it's going to shuffle them around. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. So let's go back here to our posting calendar, and let's say, all right, I'm ready to post these to my social media platform. So depending on the method you utilize, if you're posting direct to social media, I would encourage you to look into social media posters and schedulers, and I'll probably throw some of those in, some that I like, in the links tag, in the links tab on here, so that you can go to those. I'll throw some of my affiliate links in there. But I would encourage you, because it's so much easier, especially if you're doing this and you're getting into this where you're doing this for money. It's so much easier to kind of do this on a schedule rather than going to a social media platform and posting it. And most of those include some schedulers built in, but I'm still having to go to multiple, if you're using different platforms and all that. So ideally, I'm a huge fan of using a social media scheduler. They have a lot of benefits, and you can put signatures and all kinds of things. This video isn't about that. Let's talk about, you want to get it from here to there. One of the simplest ways is I just click in the cell, drag down, click copy, and then I'll open up, and I don't know if you'd see it if I record it, so I won't bother showing you, but I'll open up Notepad, Word, whatever document, and I'm going to just right click and I'll paste. I'm not going to do it in here because I don't want to paste it in here. And it will just paste these posts right there into whatever Word document I'm using. So that's the simplest way, but it's not always the most effective. It depends on what you're using. If you have a social media scheduler that allows you to import via like an Excel spreadsheet or a CSV spreadsheet, that would be my preferred way. So what I would do is I would click on File, click on Download, and depending on what your particular social media scheduler looks like. I download it into Excel or CSV. Download to your desktop, and you're basically just you're going to download this whole thing down, and then you can from there copy that and paste that into your respective um, import tool that you'll import into your social media scheduler. So if you have questions on that, if you've never done that, I would encourage you first to go to your social media scheduler that you're using, and most of them have the documentation on how to do that. And if you really just get stuck, reach out to me. I can certainly help you out with that. It's not overly complicated. All you have to do is make sure that your import blocks tags line up with their system. So they might call them social posts, they might call them SM or whatever on their spreadsheet, and you just need to make sure that matches up so that when it uploads, it knows that this is what it is and this is the day that it's posted on, etc. All depends on the particular platform. That's it. Very simple to populate, to download, and to post with this calendar. And you'll never run out of very fast, instantaneous, fresh posts and prompts. So while we're here, let me also quickly talk to you go a little further into these posts and prompts I have here. Now, with time, I'll probably release some packs, some individual packs that you can add to some different add-ons, if you will. So I might come up with, who knows, how to make beef jerky, for instance, social media post pack, and sell that packet. And you can add that into your database, and I'll talk about how you can do all that on the database itself. But with what we have in here right now, what I try to do with these post and prompts is make it to where it kind of is as close as I could holistically a dual purpose. So if we look here, test vacuum sealing versus Mylar bags. Which do you prefer? VacSeal Mylar Food. It's got the emoji. This right here, as well as many of these, they don't all work perfectly like that, but this works great as in three ways. One is a post, one is a prompt for you, and one is a combination of both. So literally, I could take that and post that directly to one of my prepping groups, and it looks like a call out to them, a call for action to them. Hey, I want you guys to test some vacuum sealing methods, vacuum sealing versus Mylar bags. Which one do you prefer? And I'm talking and I'm engaging my audience, telling them. The second way it works is strictly as a prompt, and I can look at that as a message to me saying, hey, okay, for this day, I should test vacuum sealing bag, blah, 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 and then post those results to my group. And if you do that, I would still encourage you to use the emojis and the hashtags because they're set for that. And then the third way, and this is probably the best, but it's also the most time intensive. So from a personal perspective, I don't do it all the time, wouldn't do it all the time because time is, we're always trying to make the best ROI on our time in the business world. And that would be to do a combination of both. So in that case, I would go and actually test some, vacuum sealing in Mylar bags, do up my results, do a, post on it or however it might be. And I would also include this call out. And now it's your turn. I want you guys to test vacuum sealing in Mylar bags. Which do you prefer? So it's a little bit of both. That's the most impactful, but it's also the most time consuming. So as I said, a lot of this is pretty self-explanatory, but I wanted to make sure, maybe you just glance over it and don't see it. And so I want to make sure I at least share it with you. If you have any questions, just reach out to me at Shane at the Content Entrepreneur, and I'll get right back to you.